Who is Sava?
With my middle child, Konstantin is his name. He has two beautiful children. I'm an uncle. Why have you slept with so many women here? So many girls?
Everybody here needs a drop of life.
Because I'm attracted to people from opposite gender. And I found out about myself a year ago.
It's a very, you feel it choked up in your throat, but you know that that's power.
Yep.
That's power.
Shout out, ex-professor of economics. Yeah.
I fucking did it. That's something that personally really turns me off.
Do what is meaningful. Don't do what is not meaningful.
Tell me about your relationships with the women here.
I'm largely dissatisfied. Hello, Greg.
Hello, Savelii.
We meet again.
We meet again.
At the same place, but we're sitting in different chairs.
Yeah.
Today, I'm gonna be the one interviewed. You're the interviewer. And I just hope for a great conversation. Thank you for being here, first of all.
Well, thank you for being here as well. Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be the one talking to you. Yeah, this is a great podcast. It's not a podcast, yeah, something like that. It's I think it's one of the most important things of this university. I'm not just saying that because we're friends. I really feel like there is a internet presence of this university which actually matters now, which was something that I didn't think existed before you came along. So I think that what you guys are doing here is amazing, and I'm really, really curious as to what it'll be like for you to be in the other chair.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I think all the viewers will be as well.
Yeah.
And I hope that I'll do a good job at making this hour or so as fruitful as possible.
I know you will.
Yeah. So let's begin.
Oh no.
Who is Sava?
Sava is a Russian boy who moved to Bulgaria and was not settled, who came to AUBG to find out who he was, found friendships for the entirety of his life, build connections, build experiences that will last forever, and tries to build something that will outlive him, even in the scope of the university.
Okay. I think everyone is probably really curious about you as a figure. I think that it's not very out there to say that there is a certain archetype that you fit or maybe don't fit. Maybe you're an archetype of your own, and I'm sure you really like that idea.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, I think. I think that's part of the reason why you're an interesting figure. But there's always that seminal influence. And my next question is, tell me about what it's like to be your mother and your father's son. Tell me about your parents. Tell me about your upbringing. But we can start with that from now on.
Let me first comment on the archetype. I haven't studied that much. I haven't studied myself in terms of archetypes, etc. And it's a very appealing idea. So maybe by the end of the interview, people will figure it out for themselves. Regarding the fact that I'm a child of my parents, I'm the most grateful. I had the happiest childhood, and I was super blessed to have parents that I have, both my mother and my father. The amount of support they gave me, especially after we moved to Bulgaria, especially after they quit their jobs in Russia and they had more time to spend with me, etc. It influenced me so much that I cannot even describe. The amount of confidence that they built in me, in terms of that they were always by my side, is it's hard to even put in some amount.
Yeah.
I have a very strong connection with them even nowadays, and I think the fact that we moved to Bulgaria in 2014 made that connection even stronger, because we basically were left alone at our own devices. We moved to Bulgaria with 2 bags for 3 people, and gradually moving from Petrich to Sandansky and then finally to Plovdiv, we stayed connected, and I'm a happy child of my beautiful parents.
You know, I think obviously people know that you're extremely confident you have some degree of ambition, which is foreign or alien to the climate here, which is strange because that's what this place is advertised to be perfectly home to. And now that you were saying that, I really thought about something that I would like to get your opinion on. Maybe being confident, being well-mannered, being presentable, such as yourself, and I'm not just gonna lick your boots here for the rest of the hour. I really believe every single word that I say. Maybe that is the product of a happy childhood, of good parenting. Maybe the controversy around you or the optics around you, the perception of you is to some degree a painful envy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe people wish they were like that because they secretly wish they had a kind of upbringing that you perhaps did. What do you think about that? Do you think that there is a clean correlation, as I mentioned, between those two things? Or are you just a random collection of good things because you were treated well, you were allowed to make your own path?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think perhaps if there was a sibling of yours that they would be totally different?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. A few things to comment. Let me go in the beginning of your question and comment on the confidence. I heard that about myself a lot around the campus and in general. People perceive me as a confident person.
I would say they use the first two letters and then they add another. They add a couple more. They say cocky. Let's say
Mm-hmm.
cocky, arrogant. Every single superlative you can sort of throw at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry for interrupting you.
Sure. I don't think in those terms, to be honest. I personally don't think that, oh yeah, I'm that confident, oh yeah, I'm that cocky. I honestly don't perceive my actions, my thoughts in this framework. The way I actually think and the way I act are I try them to be dictated by the fact that I want people to around me to be good. I want to make people around me good. I want to empower them. I want to bring some meaning in this ocean of suffering that we have around us. I want to be the small island that people will go to even when all hope is lost. And I think right now, specifically right now, nowadays, with this crisis of meaning, this crisis of hope after the God is dead by Nietzsche, right? We need to create our own meaning after the demise of the importance of religion nowadays. And I just try with my projects to fulfill that, even to a little bit. When I started this podcast, I thought to myself after the episode with Luci, actually, and that's why I recommend the episode with Luci to everyone if they haven't seen a single episode so far of Yapping. After this interview, I was thinking about it, which does not happen all the time. Like I'm being completely honest today. After this interview, I thought to myself, man, even if one person watches this, even if from the whole campus there's gonna be one like, one dislike, it's whatever. If one person watches this and it makes them think, then maybe it's not in vain. Maybe there's something behind it. Now going back to the question about whether there's some way of connection between the childhood and the way I am, undeniably, undisputedly so, and for several reasons. I mean, I think it's proven. The studies have proven that childhood is probably, like, arguably one of the, if not the most important thing in lives.
Hands down.
So that's going back to the importance of upbringing and of the importance of taking the full responsibility of having a child, etc. And I was happy enough to have people who were adequate, let's put it this way, enough to understand like what world we live in. And this was actually one of the reasons why they decided to move to Bulgaria. At least they say, and I tend to believe them, that they wanted to give me a chance. They wanted to move from a place full of crime, drugs, people who would not like you to succeed, etc., to a place that may give you some opportunities and may give you the freedom to grow. That's why I'm here right now. So I do think there is a correlation. I do think that parents should take full responsibility for whatever they're doing. I was not given an iPad when I was 3 years old just to scroll for Peppa Pig or whatever. And that's pretty much it. Was there another question, or that was it?
No, that's a great answer. I think again, it's really hard to say or to make any real connections I think that's one thing that I've learned from psychology as well. Is like we have lots of great studies that show correlations, but the cause of things is very, very, very strange. And that's why maybe there was one more question, which is if you had a little sibling or an older sibling, do you think they'd be different? But we can hold on that.
I actually have 2 siblings.
You have 2 siblings?
I have 2 older brothers.
Oh, there we go.
They're my stepbrothers. So each one of them come from one of my parents. So I'm the first child of this specific couple, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And I grew up with my other brother, who is a middle child in our family. He is now 30. I actually congratulated him a few days ago. He had his 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
And like we're totally different people. And my oldest brother, we're totally different people.
Mm-hmm.
We do not stay in touch, which breaks my heart, to be honest, out of many, many, many other reasons apart from distance. And with my middle child, Konstantin is his name, we were like I was brought up together until I was 9, and it really is interesting what's gonna happen next, how our paths are gonna cross in the future, because both of my siblings are now in Russia. The oldest brother, he has a family on his own. He has 2 beautiful children. So I'm an uncle at this point. Unfortunately, I've never seen his children, his wife, and him for like 6 years now.
Wow.
Because that's when I was lost in Russia for reasons you understand.
So your mother and your father had separate relationships before they met and had you.
Yes, both of them.
And both of them in their own pairs had 1 child. Both
yes, exactly.
2 sons individually.
Exactly.
And then there's a 3rd child, which is you. And there's no 4th, right?
Yes.
Okay.
For now.
Yeah.
No.
Well, wow. I mean, I don't know, have you ever spoken about this before?
No.
No?
No.
And why not? Is it something that maybe it's too intimate or nobody has cared to ask, or
you mean in public?
Just never had
now?
Yeah, yeah.
Like now?
Sorry, just to finish. Do you feel like this is really a big thing for you? Is this something that you reflect on regularly in your journals, for example?
Definitely, yes. Definitely. Nobody's spoken to me about that. I mean, people like a general rule of thumb, you ask people like, do they have pets? Do they have siblings? So only in this context I would bring something like this. Right. But nobody seemed to care that much to ask such questions, or like it doesn't just pop up, Even like, I think you understand as well, even with my best of friends and with your friends, some parts of your life would just pop up in the most unexpected way, yes. Although you know each other for years maybe, right? So it just, maybe for some reason, people would seem it too intimate. Yeah. But I'm generally I'm a person who would speak their mind. I don't usually like hide between a mask, or like I am what I am. I really don't think in these terms, like I'm a mask in front of the people, in front of the camera. It's just, I don't know. People who speak with me, I think they realize that like that's who I am in real life.
Yeah. I'm asking you all these questions because recently I've been watching this TV show about serial killers, and they talk a lot about their upbringing. Mm-hmm. And recently you came out with as one of them, right?
Great. All right.
For the more honors.
For the more
right?
honors, yeah.
Yeah, but no. But jokes aside, I think that maybe on its own it doesn't say much about you, but people are very, very, very quick to judge without remembering that there is about 20 years of life before the face that you see in front of you. It's very easy to say that somebody has a mask after 1 or 2 hours, if that, of interaction.
Yeah.
But what about the calluses? Some people say you have a mask, but what if it's calluses? From the life that you've had.
Yeah.
And people don't really care.
It's like an iceberg yes. beam.
And I think maybe you'll agree with me, and when you know what kind of life you've had, you don't even feel the need to really explain to people why you are the way that you are, because you have a very solid understanding of it, and you just are the way you are. And but I wanted to ask you. You've told me, in private that you, and in public as well, that you journal a lot. You have a very strong relationship with journaling. Maybe we can talk about that before we talk about your maybe not so strong other relationships.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell me about when you started journaling, why you started journaling. Tell me about how your journals used to look like when you were younger and now.
Thank you for the question. I actually do like to talk about this topic. I do have an intimate relationship with journaling in general. I've started journaling since I remember myself. I mean, I had always some passion for writing specifically, for pens, for a good notebook, etc. For like very young age, even before I went to school. And gradually, from some scribbles in the beginning, some thoughts like I went to the park with my father yesterday, whatever.
Yeah.
It gradually expanded to me being being serious at that when I was in 7th grade specifically, and since then I have hardly had like a month that I don't journal. I try to journal every day.
It's very difficult.
It is, and I don't always succeed. Like not at all.
Sometimes it takes a toll on you as well.
Yes.
Sometimes your journal really is an enemy against you as well.
Exactly. I mean, there are different types of journaling. You can journal just to relieve some thoughts or like a stress.
Yeah.
To eliminate stress. Exactly, like a therapy. But there are types of journaling that you can actually find out about yourself much more than if you're just thinking. Because thinking, what we call thinking, like in our minds, it's not really thinking in my opinion. Thinking is when you write it down, and specifically write it down. You can type, but it has proven that the mechanical memory that you have is actually super beneficial to the retention of knowledge, etc. And for other reasons.
It's also more intimate. I mean, even in like a poetic sort of way, it's more intimate.
Yes, it slows you down.
Ink to paper.
Yes, it slows you down. It makes you, like, you know how, for example, you meet a person and you speak with them or a friend, and they tell you their story, their life, whatever, and you can pinpoint some areas that they can improve. Like, man, like, from an outside perspective, you're doing this wrong. Like, I'm your friend, I want to tell you that. But we don't usually say that. Because giving an advice, and that's why I don't give pieces of advice ever, I just say whatever I think, is that you shift the responsibility. You give the responsibility from their life to your own. And now, if your advice doesn't work out, you kind of feel guilty.
Yeah.
Even if they don't, like, blame you or whatever. But going back to the topic. Journaling. It is high agency hobby, in my opinion.
Okay. Can you explain what you mean by that? Because agency is, at least in the spheres that I know we both interact with, online or in real life, agency is a buzzword nowadays. But what does it mean to you?
It means taking responsibility for your life, trying to understand yourself. I mean, understand thyself, right? Before you understand yourself, before you understand your values, your principles, what you stand for, or the situations in your life, I don't think you can actually operate effectively. And the cause of suffering is the discrepancy with reality you have.
Okay.
It's the escapism you go into. It's a blind eye you turn on some things. In business, if you don't look at your financial status in your income statement,
the forecasts, the history.
Yeah, you can be a great guy, a nice guy, but you go out of business pretty soon because you escape the reality. And I think by journaling, having this tool, it's not a panacea, it's not an end goal, but it's a great tool, in my opinion, that allows you to understand the situation you have right now and to be in a way of an outsider from your own life and to see that through, see it on the paper, and you can say, man, who's that guy? Like definitely you have to fix that, first of all. And the thing is, we people, we usually, like, if we sit like this for like a few minutes in front of, like on our bed, and we have like a few minutes to think, we actually pretty much know what we have to do.
Yes.
We actually pretty much know that what our next step should be in terms, like, in a way to make our lives better, to reduce the suffering and to reduce the pain that we have around in the world. Nowadays, I journal much less than I used to journal like 2 years ago, for example, when I was high school, etc. I mean, I used to journal, like, I used to have like a moleskin go every month.
Yeah.
Like I was just figuring out myself.
That's impressive. Only people who really journal can see how That's impressive. I mean, even if you're writing shit all day, I mean, that's really impressive. Going through that much is that's you. I'm sure
Yeah.
you've probably written about what maybe two books worth of journals.
Yeah, probably something like
Probably,
this.
yeah. I mean, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
and so nowadays I don't journal as much, and the reason for that is that like I want to do something. Like
Yeah,
I like I enjoy doing.
1-to-1, man.
Yes.
Yeah,
I enjoy
I totally agree with you.
I enjoy going after certain things. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy achieving. I enjoy all the hardships, all the inconveniences.
You started speaking about the way in which journaling and what you learn from it moves into real life and your social interactions.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask you about something, again, maybe quite intimate. But at your time in AUBG, you're 20-year-old guy. Tell me about your relationships with the women here. Start about. You don't have to say any names if you feel uncomfortable. We can skip it. But tell me about, first of all, your general experience with them, and perhaps some moments, without saying any names or anything, just some moments with somebody that really left you in thought or in absence of it.
Mm-hmm.
Riff off.
Mm-hmm. Yesterday, I actually was asked the same question on the debate. It was on the debate that the person just came to me, and a girl, first year, just came to me and said, "Why have you slept with so many women here? So many girls?" Well, first of all, hello. Nice to meet you. I haven't found a meaningful. I haven't had a meaningful romantic relationship here yet. The
In
relationship.
any capacity?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Sometimes I had some people that I like from my opposite gender, because I'm attracted to people from opposite gender. To debunk.
Good for clarifying, because what was it? AUBG spotted or gagged or
Yeah.
throbbing? I forgot which one it was. Said that you are like a Roman soldier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That's a nice way to put it. Thank you. Yeah. Although I may have liked some people here, like their personalities, either because of lack of courage, either because of some uncertainty in my life, of some things that would go in the way of me forming a real relationship. I didn't have any like meaningful ones here. The ones I had here, I wouldn't describe them as meaningful. Mutually beneficial, yes. Entertaining, yes. Immature, yes as well. And I do know that, and I do work on that. And one friend of mine recently said that having no girl is a sign of personal dysfunction. Now I have to ponder about that. I cannot give you a definite answer, but the explanation I have right now is that maybe I just didn't find a right person. I mean, it's a very tempting thought that to have. But it's a way stripping of responsibility. I mean, yeah, I'm just that good. Nobody even come close. Everybody's so boring. I'm not about that. But I have to develop my character. I have to develop myself in order to, from my end, when I find the right person, to deliver, right? Like, even if the best girl ever, with the most appropriate personality, just comes in the room, so I'm not a guy who just stays silent and whatever.
Let me push back here. I understand the allure about the idea that you can kind of, and I know your statement and your opinion is probably not so surface level, so please don't be offended by what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
But you can't prepare or learn to be a good partner in your head.
Yes.
And I know that's not what you're saying, but that I feel like that's where you're drifting towards, or you feel like it's a safety cushion. And now I'm gonna come back to your side. I will support your claim. It really helps. It really does a great job at making sure that you as a person are stable enough to be there when somebody perhaps is less stable than you. The problem comes when you have a perception of yourself of being so well groomed mentally, internally, psychologically, that nobody can measure up to it. I definitely have found myself there, where you start to expect another you in front of you. And even if they're slightly less than you, there is some kind of bitter dissatisfaction. And I promise you, continuing down this path will lead to a bitter experience with even great people. Great people, not even women, just great people. That being said, I don't think that I've, I think I have a keen eye. I don't think I've met Savelii's girlfriend here, to be honest. Maybe she is here, but I don't think I've met her. And this as well is a tricky point, which I want to ask you about. The person who you might have a great relationship with might not be anything like what you imagine her to be. And that's probably the problem. You imagining who she might be probably gets in the way.
Yeah.
I think you have that problem.
Okay. I think I'm an open-minded person. Let's start with that.
I think there's a caveat there, though. And I want you to guess what the caveat is. What do you think the caveat is to you being an open-minded person? Because I think many people will immediately have a gut reaction of, what is this guy saying?
No, I actually don't know.
Really?
No. I actually know. Tell me.
I think you're extremely hard to convince. I think you're an open-minded person, but the way to get to your mind is like, you have to put a jetpack on and up into the sky and get into your mind. So you might have a huge gate, it might be open, but I think people really have to do all kinds of gymnastics to get to that open mind. And that's because you take a lot of convincing.
I have a high barrier to entry.
Let's say, yes.
Sure, helped me so far. Didn't have any drama or, but yeah, apart from jokes.
It just means you get less visitors.
Yes. I do value profound and deep connections with people I care about. I love people in general, actually. And it's a thought that is not... I will go back to the question. Just
don't worry.
Let me channel through that.
Riff, go ahead.
It's not a thought that is that obvious. Liking people, loving people in general. I don't think people really think about it. Why would you like people in general? Why would you not like people in general, etc.? It's a good mental exercise. And I came to the conclusion that I do love people. And I do love people, to see people get better. Now, there's a very tempting thought to say, she's not here. She was not in high school. She's not here. But then I'll say, she's not in the workplace. She's not when I go to Japan.
She's not in Sofia.
Yeah, she's not in Sofia. I don't want to be left alone. Although I do feel we come to this world alone and we will go alone and we will die alone. And I do feel that. Maybe it's something that I have a barrier to a really high barrier and I have to lower some standards and lower some expectations in terms of women. I adore women, I etc. I adore all people. I am a really curious person and I can find the best out of the worst person in the world.
I believe that.
I do think that.
I believe that as well.
That's why, when people say, "Oh, you speak with this guy," I'm notorious for speaking with people with better reputation around the campus, in my high school, and in general.
Yeah.
I get the most out of a person, and I enjoy that, and I let them know what they're good at. I let them know that I like that about them, and I think that makes them better. And if that makes them better, that makes me better.
We've been talking about you, and we make the question is usually how it goes. It goes, are you the problem or are they the problem? And so far we've been speaking about this through a lens of you being the problem, something being wrong with your selection criteria.
Okay.
But what is something perhaps that you see yourself as in a happy relationship receiving?
Mm-hmm.
That's I think we can have a conversation a little more interesting by process of elimination. What do you want? What would really make you happy? What would make you say, fuck everyone else, this is the person that I want to spend every single second of this day with?
Mm-hmm. First of all, I don't think that is a problem. Like, I don't think there is a problem, to be honest.
I don't either.
Maybe it's a question of priorities, but I generally, honestly, don't seek much. Don't seek a person. I don't see relationships in general, to be in a relationship, etc. Somehow, like, the way that my mind is filled throughout the day, like, I don't really think about that. I think about the things I have to do, the tasks, the people I have to reach out to, the thing that I have to post on social media, etc., etc. It's just filled with some tasks and projects, some milestones in my head, some goals. I would assume that a loving person by my side would enhance that.
Yes.
I've heard that people saying that.
100% they do.
And you said that to me as well, I remember. I just don't like, and it just happened that they were not in that proximity that I would go to and say, oh yeah, like, let's go to this journey together. Maybe it's a problem of me seeking somebody to go to a journey with me together, and it's not that deep. So maybe it's, once again, going back to they're just not the right person. Can you repeat the question once again? So I answered specifically. I deviated a bit.
No, that's okay. You answered really, really well. Mm-hmm. I think the way that you could characterize this is that you are on your own ship. That you've spent.
I'm on a mission.
You've spent a long time building your ship. You're on a voyage right now. You're concerned with holding the rudder, making sure that everything is going smooth, and you haven't stopped by a harbor that has visitors that are good enough. Someone who you want to adventure with. You and I think we share this kind of feature, bug, whatever. To not lose and to win. It's like two different things, but it's very, very vivid emotions and passions and drivers that push both. But there's something about surpassing your father which doesn't exclude him out of the picture. It's for him. And I think that's that fatherly love, that he is the one man in this world who you can bet all your money on, that he wants you to win and beat him 100-fold just because that's my boy.
100%.
Something about that just makes you want to, it turns you into a little baby again, but it also makes you feel like the man. Mm-hmm. Like that's that energy that you need when you just can't find it anywhere else.
Yes.
It's a very, you feel it choked up in your throat, but you know that that's power.
Yep.
That's power.
Real talk, bro. Real talk.
I mean, that's...
What a convo. All right.
Yeah.
Several things here. First of all, that's one of the reasons why I love speaking with people older than me. And like, I mean, even much older. Like, one of my two biggest friends in Alaska when I spent the summer there last summer was a guy who was 27 and 36. One of my biggest friends here, when he was here, he's in his 40s, mid 40s. Shout out, ex-professor of economics. Definitely. And I just thought to myself a few weeks ago about surpassing my father. I always wanted to be like my father, but a few weeks ago, one thought crossed my mind when I was walking to the City One in the evening. Super specific here.
As it were.
Yeah.
There's something about that.
Yeah, I thought to myself, like, I identified that there's a limit. I identified a limit to my father. Like, I want to be better. I know that will be the best gift to him if I surpass him. And that's the crazy part about it, right? Like, how many more people do you know that will be the same?
Nobody. Maybe your brothers, but even then, how many stories are there of brothers killing brothers?
Yeah.
I mean,
the story.
The story. Yeah. Crazy, eh? Okay. So, let's say the world doesn't burn down and we aren't just, eating KFC once we receive our universal basic income stipends. Let's say there's still room for development in 10 years.
Okay. Hard to imagine.
30-year-old Savelii. How does that man go to sleep saying, I fucking did it?
I did it? You said,
Worst case and best case scenario. What's the worst life you could have and still say,
yeah,
I fucking did it?
Let me then start with the best case scenario.
Okay.
Or maybe I can unify them, I don't know.
That's the ideal, right?
Yeah.
I'm really happy you said that. That was the catch.
A man with many flaws still. A man who is free. Freedom. That's the value for me.
Wait,
One of the values. All right.
Freedom the way Pavel Durov talks about it, or
I'll expand. Freedom. Financial freedom.
Okay.
I can go whenever I want. I don't depend on a strict schedule, so I'm free of like some strict timing and strict schedule, not 9 to 5, etc. So I can go on Sunday or on random Wednesday and drink a coffee with my friend in whatever time I want, or go to Alaska for 3 months and spend time with bears there and spearfishing. I don't know.
Yeah.
So financial freedom, spatial freedom, so not imprisonment, not slavery, etc. Being it for corporate, etc. Freedom in the mind. Now, I don't fall for ideology, because ideologies are flawed, are failed religions. I don't fall for my temptations, short-term gratification, and for the demons that convince me to betray myself. So I don't betray myself. So freedom from weakness, let's say. Not weakness, but mind freedom.
Yes. So that's
freedom to choose who I am with, and freedom to decide where I am gonna be.
Okay.
Free man with a strong vola. There's a great word I love in Russian, vola. Vola is svoboda.
Will and freedom.
Super cliche, dude. My answers are super cliche, and I think that many people think that about me when I speak like this, and many people. That's why many people think I wear a mask, etc. I honestly think this way. Like, I don't go after this interview in my room and whatever. Yeah, let's.
Sava, one of my best friend who I'm building Robotnik with, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
We were driving one time to his place, and he told me, you know, Greg, I'm gonna sound like a grandpa here, but the more I think about the things that my father and my grandparents and people have told me, very basic cliche statements, the more I realize life really is just that simple. And a week after that, I came across this quote: "If it's trite, it's right."
Mm-hmm.
And I think it really is that. I mean, you have things that are super reducible to their most simplest core, and I think that really is true. And that comes back to what you were saying earlier: is like people usually know what the next step is.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to reinvent the wheel.
You know what quotes pops up in my mind when I see you?
What?
I actually been writing about this a few weeks ago when you won another hackathon or whatever it was. I thought to myself, what you do in private shows in public, and what you do in public shows in private. You exercise, you're strong. You go into areas you're not comfortable in, and you're stronger. You follow the news, and you're more informed, so more stronger, because it's a key to information. This is the power. You're high agency in private. You do the hard work, the mundane work, and that's why you win. That's why you win. And I want to be like this, definitely. So don't fuck up. Please.
Well, thank you. I mean, it took me a long time to realize that, what I do in private is not in vain. And I'm not gonna lie. I mean, without external validation, sometimes I come into these holes where I think it's just not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But now more than ever, I realize that all those summers where I was just doing nothing but writing and reading and thinking, they have established a foundation upon which I can allow myself to have some kind of agency. And I think agency is not just something that you come across as a concept and a switch flips in your head. It's a very real realization that agency is what bridges the gap between your internal world and the external world, and depends on what your end is. But I think that if you've spent so much time developing yourself, well then, is it anything more than self-serving if you don't develop agency and make a mark in the world? Now, I don't know if anything I do will make a mark in the world, but I know that there are underlying drivers which inevitably, whether I will it or not, lead to that kind of an outcome. And earlier you were speaking about how you take one habit and you see, okay, 5-10 years from now, what will that lead to? And
Compounding.
Yeah, and it's the same with ideologies, right? You can, it's called accelerationism. You take it, you push it to its limits, you see what it leads to.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe, again, not to get political, and this is really a banal statement maybe, but one of the things that the left did in the US was, and I think this maybe was an interesting ploy from the conservatives, was they allowed liberalism to reach its acceleratory end. And it looked absurd at the end. It really looked absurd. And so what I want to say by this is that I think that's a trait that is very helpful, and I think it is a sign of some degree of high intelligence. Being able to extrapolate from a set of first principles to see the outcome. I think that's really, really important. And you have people who are excellent at this, and they apply it on an engineering level, physics level, like Elon does. Maybe it's a marketing ploy, maybe it's real. Who knows? Doesn't matter. The principle is a principle. And I admire that about you. I think that's exactly what's going to take you very far. And so what you say about where you're going to be in 10 years, I don't think that's only feasible. I think it's bound to happen. And that's I know that you're the type of person who, when you hear bound to happen or feasible or plausible or whatever, I know what comes into your mind. It's doubt, probably. It's doubt, and that's exactly the kind of doubt that you live with every day, and it pushes you. I think I can say confidently that I know that about you.
Yeah, and I like the Christian, the religious explanation of the doubt. It's I asked God to make me stronger, and it gave me challenges.
Yes,
I like this explanation. It's pretty meaningful. It gives you hope and courage. But about the ideologies, I want to comment. People may claim that I am conservative. I may strike as one with the rage baiting, with make AUBG great again, whatnot. Just get this out of the way. I don't describe myself as a conservative nor a liberal. I have my set of values that I want to defend. I non-denominational in religious terms. Once again, I want to, because if you acquire an ideology, let's say I'm a liberal, right, or I'm a conservative. If you acquire this, you may start to agreeing to things that you personally, if you really think about it, we may not agree to, but you just go along with the ideology.
You just subscribe.
Yes. But I'm a big fan, I'm a big patriot of the United States of America. Greatest country in the world. Not right now, right? So because of this guy. Not Savelii, but you know. I'm a big fan of the Constitution. I'm a big fan of the values that it brings. I have an American flag in my room since my first semester here. And I do want to stay by the First Amendment, by the Second Amendment, all right.
Yeah.
And so on. It what allows people to grow, because people respond to incentives.
Tell me about the future of Yapping Americano. Now I have a couple questions here. The first question is going to be, let's say Savelii disappeared. does Yapping disappear?
Yeah.
Because I think Sava is the brand that drives Yapping Americano.
Yeah. Possibility of me disappearing is not as distant as it may seem, actually. Let's put it this way. I'm considering different options at this point of my education. Not like I don't want to go much into that, but it's not as impossible of me vanishing from AUBG.
Are you talking about dropping out or transferring?
Probably. I want to take into consideration all options I have. Let's put it this way. Most probably I'll stay, but answer to your question. Now, yapping. It's a pretty big thing in my life. And as with many things that you cherish in your life, I don't take when people disregard it or disrespect it. As like if I had a girl, I wouldn't like if people disrespected or disregarded her. Now, I'm open to criticism, and you know that. I'm open to like pretty much any criticism that goes beyond this bullshit. Bullshit why? Let's fix. Let's make it good. Let's make it more meaningful. Let's make it more entertaining. Let's make it reach more people, etc. What happens if let's say this way, after my senior year, after I graduate, this is one of the biggest goals I have for Yapping. I want this project to outlive me. Not only to outlive me, to forget my name as much as possible and as fast as possible. This is an idea of that I came across from Kanye West, actually. Yeah.
Lord, yeah.
Nobody, he says some bullshit, but sometimes it's pretty interesting.
Kanye is the GOAT.
Yeah. Nobody remembers the creator of street lamp or whatever, of many things in life. But they're still useful and they do bring satisfaction to people and meaning, etc. So something like this. I want this project to outlive me. Now I want to find people who are, first of all, enthusiastic. And this is number one for me, enthusiastic. Because if you're enthusiastic, you can learn pretty much anything. I mean, for example, a current editor of Yapping Americano, who is now behind the camera, I mean, he was not really familiar with editing and whatnot. The way he edits right now, he can basically earn money like a freelance. He's on such level, I wouldn't say he's like a professional or whatever, but he's a decent editor who can handle good projects, big projects like debates, who are like 1 hour long, etc. And like big hooray for him.
And think about when he started with all of this. I mean, if you take that rate and you extrapolate,
yeah,
the sky is not a limit.
And ultimately, I mean, ultimately, now we're going back to the clubs. I cannot say something about Yapping without mentioning the clubs in AUBG, because Yapping is not a club. Now, wouldn't you say that a person who has no skill in the beginning of a semester and has a skill at the end of the semester has gained a value, has gained merit, and has gained benefit, especially if he likes it. Now,
absolutely.
I don't think my editor pretty much likes editing, but he still got the skill. Now let's, okay, I don't want to go on a rant about the clubs here, although my opinion about it's pretty clear. I'm largely dissatisfied. And this is one of the reasons why Yapping emerged in the first place, and why Yapping stays an association, let's say, or not a club in AUBG. We don't get funding, etc., right? We don't get censorship, etc. But it's not even about the censorship. It's about the club system we have right now, run by people, I think, who constrain themselves in some norms. And I think, for example, let's take Aura, a club organized by Hristo Grozov. I mean, what are the values that were standing behind this project? The freedom of speech, media, campus life, the wind of change, 1995, or whatever year he created it, in the 90s. I mean, that is that.
It was the radio of Blagoevgrad.
That is it. Yes, that is it. They did stuff. What clubs do right now, like the 80% of the clubs, apart from we hear about, apart from, I don't know, RGC, for example, who played the concerts, who made the Spring Fest, good events. I mean, that's what, or MH, although they like we may have some comments about MH, but I think their MH nomination, the thing happened a few weeks ago, one of the most remarkable things in this university, to be honest. I was so amazed my first year. I couldn't believe that something like this could happen, and this defines why this is an American university in Bulgaria. Hell yeah! I want to say hell yeah after I go to the MH party. This is how good is that. Now, some clubs that were supposed to represent good things,
they just spend their money on
events, on booze. Now, about booze, about alcohol, and whatnot.
Look, it's part of the campus experience that makes AUBG.
Yeah.
People want to go to an American university, get sloshed at parties. It's a good way to bond. I mean, a good way in the morally agnostic way.
Then go to Project S, the only club who didn't lie from the beginning what they were about. They said, we're about events, alcohol, having fun, and they delivered. Now go to that. Don't say I am a media. I am a media on campus. I am a club, a startup club, business club who was supposed to develop your skills and whatnot. It's only socialization, in only to make in a group of oh, we're in a club, we're club members, etc. Like nothing wrong about that. Just you like don't say you're a business club then. Say you're a party club or Project X. Name it the Project UX, UI. I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. That's something that I've found mind-boggling from the beginning of my time here. And it's made sense in the broader picture.
Yeah.
I understand the model, but it's dishonest. It's dishonest. And I think that, maybe on a personal note, like me and my founders, we were trying to get some money to go to a conference that would have been really beneficial to our startup, which we've spoken about on the radio about AUBG and things like that. We've given them quite a good amount of coverage, and we will continue to do so. But and I thank Sabina so much for pulling every string she can. She's done amazing work. But in the end, the amount that she was able to pull in, because that was all that was available, was 615 and some cents euros. That doesn't even cover one of the tickets. Meanwhile, you have clubs that are spending that much on beer for one event. It's criminal in some respect. It's not a good allocation of resources. Now, I'm not one to speak about project management because I don't have any. Okay, but like it's not a good way to do things. That's something that personally really turns me off.
And it discourages, exactly. It discourages people who actually want to do stuff.
Yeah, I for sure. It's just a joke, I think. But yeah, okay, about clubs then. I know Elevate is not really a club, but it functions as one slightly. I think it's one of the only functioning units in this university. Elevate is something that produces really good things. It teaches you a lot. And I was wondering, based off of some of the things that you've spoken to me about in private about yapping, I actually think that you would be an excellent candidate for Yapping Americano. And actually earlier when I was thinking about the questions, I was
for Elevate?
Yeah, I was imagining the pitch on demo day, how you would do it. And I imagine these ugly chairs on stage, how you start in a really, really incredible way, in a story-like manner, and how you just stand up and start talking about it. Like I was visualizing it, and I really think it could happen. And I think that the goals that you've set for yourself are perfect milestones for Elevate, and you actually fit the model really, really well. That's my personal opinion. You said something about a megaphone.
Yep.
Right now, you are in the chair that you've been facing for two years now, nearly, right?
Yeah. A year.
A year.
1 year.
1 year?
A month ago.
Yeah.
Was a year.
I want you to take some time to think about how you use your megaphone right now to say something to AUBG.
Right now, in this specific moment?
Yeah.
To AUBG?
To the students.
To the students, to the community, okay.
To the average viewer that you know we have here at AUBG.
So a current student, okay. Take the most out of it. Take the most out of it Don't shift responsibility on other people. Everything is up to you. What is not up to you is not up to you, and deal with it, live with it. You still have your areas of how you can improve not only your life, but the lives that you for people that you care about around you. Take the most out of it. Party, study, go to the gym, build your own thing, do what is meaningful, don't do what is not meaningful, do what you have to do, don't do what you have to do. Don't fall for the temptations for the sake of the fitting in the company. Know your guiding star or try to find it. Be a curious guy, be the one searching. And I don't think you have any chance of not enjoying those 4 years. Because not only do you develop yourself, do you find yourself, but you actually build something in the meantime, creating skills. You actually meet amazing people, be open-minded and curious, that's what it stands for. You made amazing experiences in the clubs and dancing on the chair in your first year. And take the most out of AUBG, even beyond what AUBG can offer you. Create your own opportunities. Send that invite. Send. YOLO. You only live once.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, I think I can.
And I want to abide by those rules myself as well.
Yeah, I think you do. I think you do, and I think that you are a good person to. I would say that you are a good person to look up to. I really think that.
Absolutely, likewise.
Thank you. I think you're a really good person to look up to for many, many respects. I think that if people, even for 1 week, tried to be as outgoing as you were, as had as much thumos as you, I think that their life would change in a radical way. They would see what they're capable of, and I think they would live a little. I think that's what it is. I think everybody here needs a drop of life. I think they need to just forget about what everyone thinks about them and just do something. Do something. Build something. I think that's what people are missing. Own something. Build something. Develop something. Break something. I think people are really scared of that. And I think you've been scared of that. And I think I've been scared of that. I think everyone is scared of it. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of the whole point.
The reality bends as you bend it. It bends. It's a scene. It's all like a stage. You're the creator of your own destiny.
Yeah. If I can say one last thing, I remember when I came to AUBG in the first week, we had that big thing in the theater. Mm-hmm. In the theater with they were introducing us to. It was induction week.
Yes.
And now, just last week, being on the theater for demo day, I realized how small that theater is. It was the biggest thing before, and I realized how small it is now. And I think you probably can resonate with this, that like things that seem so large, so big, so scary, once you're on the other side, they can feel really quite nice.
Yeah.
Quite nice. It's like you've turned it into your own home. And that's what lies on the other side of fear. Once you make that leap, it's just a total change. And that's why I really love the Yapping Americano, because your guests, I mean, how many of them before have been, before some kind of public, before some kind of audience where they can really speak their mind? I'm sure half of them haven't been, I know I haven't been, right? And I think that what you continue to do, and what all of you continue to do at Yapping Americano, is give people new experiences. And what you said earlier is like, you've instilled your own mission into yapping, and you give that to people, which is great. You've already made your mark. I can say that for sure. I mean, how many podcasts have survived more than a semester? Mm-hmm. So I just want to tell you, good job, really amazing job to all of you. You guys
Great job.
You guys are amazing. Great job. I mean, I can make it as poetic as I want, but I won't. Fucking
Don't
amazing.
make me blush.
Amazing. Just amazing. Keep going. I'll never forget Savelii. I'll never forget all of you boys. Never, ever, ever. You guys are amazing. Keep doing what you're doing, and let yapping live on.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate you very much for the kind words and for this interview.
Thank you.